forget the countdown. Forget all of this. All of this is happening. It's happening right now. We know it's happening. Everybody's tired of this. It's Red Friday. Grab your hat. Make sure you have something red. It's happy hour. Remember, everyone deployed. And join Westwood and I for happy hour right after this. I've had it up to here, had it about up to here, Westwood.
I've had it up to here.
I've had it about up to here.
I had it up here.
Yeah.
Poor British
there's
accent.
Been another cyber attack on our hospitals again. There's some TikToker or some influencer causing the youth to flood Union Square or something in Manhattan, and which Johnny called that. Johnny said there's going to be some TikTok or something.
Yeah, challenge. TikTok giveaways and challenges and all that crap. Yep, he did yesterday. He said it before, though.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
and all that jazz.
Oh, Lord. I'm just telling you, happy Friday. Happy Friday, everybody in the chat. God bless you for waiting on me. I just was ranting behind the scenes.
It's all good. It's all good, man.
It's all good, man. Oh, Westwood froze. Oh, no.
What?
He's back. You froze, but in a great kind of position.
Frozen.
Yeah, Lisa. I'm fed. Back. I'm fed up. Yes, I am fed up. All the jokes.
Yep. We got jokes. We got
the dad jokes today.
Love this bar. Let's see.
What a week. I had a great interview on the Very Dow channel. If you guys haven't seen that, worked my tail off doing research so that I could
stand up and turn around so you can prove that. I don't know if that's the case.
No, thank you.
Okay.
So that I could keep up with two mental giants, Reggie Middleton and Bill Wagner. Bill Wagner is known for being co-founder of Bearing Assets and also Uphold, the Uphold app. And
that's in like Switzerland or something, is it? Isn't that Europe? Uphold?
Part of it has like banking licenses in Switzerland. It's a whole thing.
Okay. All right. We'll stop. Watch the channel. Watch the show.
Please go watch the video over at the Very Dow YouTube channel. Please also like and subscribe to that YouTube channel. You can also join the community chat on Very Official or Veritasium Official on Telegram. And all of those links are in the description of that video on YouTube. There's a great community over there, and they just really are seeking the truth through Reggie Middleton's IP that has now been cited more than 108 times. And Reggie told me on the video as we're interviewing, I was like, I went and looked, and it was 101. And the next time I looked, it was 103, and then it's 108. Then, it was 107. Then it was 108 times that it's been cited. Yeah, by other entities. So what they're doing is they're recognizing or acknowledging that yes, they are citing or acknowledging that yes, they're acknowledging Reggie's IP or intellectual property that then they're using in their own either software or programs or use case or whatever. And so that was pretty exciting. And then he told me that every Tuesday is when they update that at the patent offices. So not only in the US, but in Japan right now. He's also applied in other countries. So we may see some of that start coming on and some of those numbers start jumping exponentially. So that was pretty exciting. Oh, Westwood got a new drinky thing.
Oh, it's huge. It's monstrous. Look at this. It makes my hand look small. And it's usually that's not the case. It's like
Mm-hmm.
Wrap
Cheers.
up the beer bottle. I can't see it. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. The fact that they're citing it, not citing it, the fact that they're citing it, like citation, that's a good thing. I mean, they're giving energy to it. They're giving power to it. That builds like I would think something, not precedent, but you know what I mean. It shows the legitimacy of it, that people are actually saying, hey, we need to look at this. There's out there, and okay.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. Exciting.
Exciting. Same word embedded.
Yeah, there's been, I mean, I don't know, getting to know the people that are involved in that project and getting to know somebody like Reggie Middleton and his heart behind it. And the challenges, like behind the scenes. I mean, people see like the guy spin kicking, which a lot of people, there's so much more to his story. Well, I won't tell. I just for more of his story to come out. The challenges that he's faced in his lifetime, it has been just really epic, and I think it would be really inspiring for more people to hear. So
maybe we should make a movie about it, like maybe. Richard Hart.
Well, no.
The highest of all stakes.
If you would like to know about Richard Hart, Reggie actually did an analysis on the Boom Bust blog in April of 2021 that you can go see what Reggie thought of Hex. It's clearly a Ponzi scheme, and he tried to warn people because Reggie is, in my opinion, like the big brother of crypto and tries to help protect people. But
come on. But it did so well. Doesn't mean it's not a Ponzi scheme. I'm not taking sides either way. I'm not saying anything negative, positive. I know you are, and that's fine. P.T. Barnum made a lot of money. I mean, let's just.
Because unfortunately, people made a lot of money early on.
I know,
that is the definition of a Ponzi scheme. They use the money. The people that get in early make a lot of money because they trick and fool and pay off the people that got in early with the people that they trick and fool and deceive later on, and they steal from them.
It was almost like well, we know the Federal Reserve notes a Ponzi scheme, Social Security and all that. With Hex, I'm not defending it. Trust me. I mean, you've got I don't know how many, 600 billion, or I don't know, some ridiculous number. And the way that the whole concept is, you got a chemical truck going by, spraying stuff on fields,
Yeah, I'm sure that's very helpful.
Death scheme. Oh yeah, it's great. Getting your water, all good. Filter your water, everybody. Get a good water filtration, and anyway. So, but I never understood the concept of it, because it was, you can make 40% a year, okay? In what? In more Hex. And I'm like, okay, what do I do with it? Well, it's like a CD. You lock it up and you get more of it. And I'm like, I don't use a CD because I don't want more dollars. Because
this is the Carvana scam that Reggie explains in the video.
What Westwood tokens? All right, well, stake them. You get 50% a year. You just got to stake them, and you'll get 50% more. And it's like, okay, where do they come from? It's in the contract. It just creates itself and gives it to you. Okay, well, what's the value of it? Well, it's whatever we give it. Us. I'm like, okay, then what backs it? I mean, what's behind it? I mean, the full faith of the people, and then that's why it went from 50 cents all the way down to the other day, 0.004. I mean, it's like,
when you're borrowing against the devalued asset with the devalued asset, that doesn't make any sense.
Here's the thing. This is a guy, I used to watch him, and and I never liked him. Let's just be honest. I never cared for the guy. I thought he was arrogant, kind of just I don't know, just a smart guy.
Bad.
Yeah, I mean, I would think TV. That he smells. Yeah. That's what I would think. He kind of stink or something. But anyway, he had the big chair and all the puffy stuff, and he was kind of flamboyant, a little over the top. Just almost like, okay, who's the guy really? Is he genuine? I never thought he was. That's just my opinion. And he used to call out scams all the time. You say, oh man, that is a scam. That is a scam. You know, you're creating stuff out of nothing. That's a scam. And I think at some point he got in his head, he's like, you know what? I'm going to pull the biggest scam of ever has been pulled on people as a social experiment almost. Because I think that might be how he thinks. And just play this game. And, you took all these pictures and look at me doing all this. And just, it's like, and then maybe someday he'll come out and say, got y'all. I mean, you were all part of this big scam, thing that I was, just perpetrating on everybody, just a social experiment almost. That's the feeling I get. Like it's a big social experiment that he's pulling on everybody. Now, this is just coming from me, just my gut feeling. So there you have it.
Sorry, I just noticed, and I noticed it the other day that Tom wasn't the first one in, and Phil just asked.
Yeah, what's up with Tom? Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I haven't seen Tom. I was just thinking that too. So Phil, yeah, same thing I was thinking. I haven't seen him in a while. Made videos, haven't seen him commenting.
It's not allowing me to deliver a message to his phone.
Well, that's not a positive.
It's not normal.
No.
I will reach out to his daughter after.
Yeah, take this offline and do a little research on it. But no, good question.
Yep. Thanks for bringing that up, Phil, because we have been missing our friend. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what community does. We check on each other.
Yes, you look out for each other, and so put out some good vibrations there.
Yeah. Speaking of good vibrations, I've got some great, exciting stuff.
JMac was on my channel chatting to nobody, it seems.
Well, you keep having your videos on when I'm in meetings.
I know. Well, okay. I apologize for the Thursday thing. I do. And then yesterday,
please don't apologize, because I don't think you should have to be beholden to everyone else's schedule.
Well, no, I try to avoid that though. When there's some consistency there that's been going on for a long time.
But I feel we have our daily Westwood check-in. Just so you know, okay. Charlie and I, when we're having dinner, whatever, and we're like, "Hey, did you watch Westwood yet? Westwood yet?
Westwood.
Did you watch Westwood yet?" And so a lot of times we'll watch it together, and I always make a point to tweet it out, but a lot of times we'll watch it together, and Ken's there watching, and he's looking for, the dog, the kids, or he's like, "Oh, I know where that is on the property. I know where that is. I know where that is."
I'll have to move around more because I don't move around as much as I should.
Tell where
and then
that
he can be triangulating me, okay.
Yeah, he knows where that is at the farm, so he's like,
I got you.
Oh, I know where that is. He thinks
I was there. I was in that location.
Yeah, so we have our Westwood daily check-in. For sure,
it's family friendly mostly.
It is, yeah.
For the most part, I don't drop a lot of F-bombs. That's in spaces. I don't do things like that. Once in a while I'll say, shat, the other way.
Filth, filth. Remember that?
What is it?
Do you remember back when Jello pudding?
Jello pudding with Bill Cosby.
Yeah, and he said, "I do not say filth, floor and filth, floor and filth, floor and filth."
I don't remember that one, but I do remember the commercials. I do remember the commercials. Don't squeeze the Charmin.
Well, actually, that was Eddie Murphy pretending to be.
I got you. Okay,
sorry.
Okay, I got you.
I love Eddie Murphy, so.
It's tough, to blend that reality, separate the reality from the comedy sometimes. I get it.
Sometimes they are the same. Yes. I did get this little barkeep guy.
I've got some items.
That is
cute. I like that.
Yes. Well, you can't have him because he's really expensive. So I'm selling him.
So if you want it, you got to buy it. And you got to pay with Litecoin. And Litecoin, you're going to pay me a lot more today because it's down.
No, I couldn't believe it. I was at this little house and I was like, "Oh, that's so cute." And he has a little towel. And
she's like, "Westwood's not getting that."
And he's like, 1900s barkeep, whatever. And I look it up and they're like $52. And I got him for $1.
Oh, come on. I'll give you $2. Double your money.
No, he's going on eBay, baby. If I can get $50 for him.
eBay. She's like, "Pay for my lunch."
And he's made in Japan, so he's super old.
Yeah, that's cool. I got some stuff. I'm going to show my wares. today.
Yeah.
So Dad stopped by apparently,
Let me
and no one
see.
else would have. He's got a key, you know, so he comes in the bar.
Pops.
Yeah, Poppy. Yeah, Poppy stops by. So he had some stuff on the bar
I love
here.
when
He got this
Pops
real
comes
cool
by.
thing. It's got 8 mercury dimes, and it's got some stamps, some historical
That
stamps in
is
there.
cool.
Tells a little story, so that's pretty cool. I mean, you had that, and then he's got this old school milk jug. You know, it says absolutely pure milk, and it's got the little guy on the stool milking the cow, and you know, it's got the flip top lid, and pretty cool. And then the best
I can't
thing,
wait to get back to Illinois and do more.
we got it. I know, since you're doing this, I got to point you in more directions for the hot spots.
I cannot wait to go.
Yeah, I won't see you. You know, I'll see you more in happy hour than I will when you're here because you'll be gone out doing that stuff.
Yes.
I know how you roll.
I'm going shopping with the wife.
Man. All right, so this it's Ducks Unlimited,
beautiful.
and
those
it says
are very collectible.
Jim Beam, 100 months old, 80 proof. And then I'm like, oh, let me smell it, and because it's a little bit of liquid, I look and the tag's not even ripped. The tax tab, it's still in there intact. The Jim Beam.
That have you?
I mean, it's not even unsealed
it yet.
No, I haven't even looked at it. You know, I'm looking at it and I'm like,
send me a picture of that, and we can do it live.
And then it's got the whole freaking thing here, Jim Beam logo.
You want me to scan it live and show you how much it's
do it live? Do it live.
Send me a picture.
What does this mean?
Where's my phone though?
It just it's Ducks Unlimited. I mean, it's the tag. I mean, I'm telling you, the tax tag ribbons not even broken.
Okay.
It's
now
all
I have
full.
to go get my phone.
Oh yeah, I got her going. I knew I would.
Or here, I can get Canon to bring it.
I triggered her. I got you triggered.
Oh, I get so excited about this.
I mean, it's intact.
Ducks Unlimited stuff.
And the bourbon's still in there.
So, Canon, bring me my phone.
I mean, I was thinking I'm going to drink a little bourbon today. I was going to crack it open and drink it. I probably shouldn't do that. So
do not do that.
Man's got those limitations. So no, I'm drinking the Hawaiian beer, supposedly. Longboard. I got different varieties. Longboard Island Lager.
Kona?
Yeah, the Kona. The Kona. Well, the Kona's in the fridge. Yeah, it's all the same. Kona Brewing. Anheuser-Busch probably owns it.
Kona Wave the other day.
Yeah, it's not bad. The blue one.
It was like very light hoppy, which I'm not a hoppy IPA girl. I don't like it.
But it's not too overwhelming.
But it wasn't too overwhelming.
No, it's not bad. So they have an IPA I just drank that I'm on my third one now. The Hanalei Island IPA, and I've been to Hanalei Bay.
Lord. You boys.
What happened? Are they talking smack?
Oh, hold on. I don't know if he's going to bring me my phone.
Oh. They don't care. Oh, well. Yeah. Get me going. We'll crack open the bourbon and have a good time.
It'll be fine. So much good stuff. I don't even know where to start.
So collectible for the bar. Yes. Love it.
Yes. And I have that big
Thanks,
gift
Dad.
that I'm bringing
Appreciate
you.
it. I didn't call Dad yet. He brought it like Wednesday or something. I haven't even called him.
Wow.
Thank you.
Pops.
Mom, you're watching.
Nice.
I know you're always watching. Tell Dad thank you for the stuff. I appreciate it. It's awesome.
We love Kathy.
Pretty cool.
Thank you, Mom. Yeah, that's so sweet.
All right. Anyway.
That was really nice. Those are super nice. So you're not selling those. Those are collectibles.
No, these are mine. You know, for the bar, not mine.
Okay.
To enjoy.
So we
Next time you come
look them up.
You can come enjoy it.
Okay. I'm bringing you something really big. Like this big for the bar.
Oh my gosh. Where's it going to go?
You got an idea? We have to put it up on the wall somewhere.
Space over here.
I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
She's really good about all that. Yeah.
She is. I usually have to get it approved that way. And it's not that. It's just that I don't have I can't see it and say it's beautiful and awesome until it's up.
No,
I can't pre-envision stuff. So I'm just like, I don't know. I'll stick it up there. No, it's terrible. Move it. Okay, yeah, that does look better.
Yeah. No.
I'll admit it like a half an hour later at first. I'll be like, no, shut up. It's ridiculous. And then I'm like, yeah.
Why would you put that there?
You were right.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, so should we dig into some of the juicy stuff? I'm just like, I'm chomping at the bit. Oh, I hate this new Twitter logo.
X.
Hate it.
The half Masonic logo.
Cannot see it on my
mirror
thing. Oh God, it's a bane of my.
You've seen that, haven't you? Where they've done the overlay, the side by side, the mirror image of it, and it looks like a Masonic symbol.
Joe was talking about that this week on World Blockchain Roundtable. He said, "Did
Okay.
you notice that X looks like the XX that's on George Washington's
False teeth.
Masonic bib
Oh,
thing
his
they put on
belt
their
thing.
waist?"
Yeah, his belt
So
thing.
they wear
Okay.
these aprons.
The apron. That's it.
Yeah, like
Yeah, it's
waist
the
bibs.
tool. Whatever they call it, the protractor thing. I don't know. All you Masons out there, chime in the chat. Let us know. Tell us your degree and tell us what it means.
Somebody just got an invite mailed to them to join. And I can't remember who.
I need some action in my life. Maybe send me one. Check it out.
I don't know.
Live streaming inside of the Masonic Hall.
And I told the boys, I was like, the world's largest Masonic temple is here in Oklahoma and in Guthrie.
Is it really?
At the original state capitol in Guthrie, in the little town.
Well, that's where all the tunnels connect, though, isn't it? Throughout the United States, and that's where they all kind of converge, and all tunnels lead to Oklahoma, or what is it? Not Edmond, but Guthrie.
Guthrie. Mm-hmm.
I'm just
okay. So that goes
smack.
to, allegedly. Super exciting. Do I want to talk about that first? I don't know. My bank.
I saw that. That's pretty cool. So I can get a checking account at your bank now. That's what you're saying.
Yes, just went national.
It's crazy. But doesn't that make sense?
There was a very strange post that my dear friend posted, and what did it go? Amazing to leverage a tragic financial experience as a new private into modern military banking.
Oh, I saw that one.
Launching August 15th. You can take this whatever way you would like to take this. And then Roger is going to be the app made for those who serve by those who have served. Then Jill announced that our bank is now going national. And
I'm nationwide.
We're nationwide. Just received official certification by Cities for Financial Empowerment Fund on national account standards for our military bank. Is a part of this whatever. Very exciting. We just went national. You can now open a checking account in just a couple of minutes with the fastest, most sophisticated onboarding in the land. This company, our little one location, 55 team member community bank, just turned it up to 11.
Just cranked it up to 11, baby.
Small
Blowing
but mighty.
Out the speakers. Yeah, I saw the mighty part.
Strange.
Yeah, interesting.
Interesting.
A mighty area you find yourself in.
Mighty area.
In which you find yourself.
In which I do find myself. And I'm proud to find myself here and honored. And this is another very interesting thing so my daughter works downtown. And when I say downtown,
I know, that's what I was thinking. Like
one road. It's similar to your downtown, Westwood. It's one road with like a couple little cute streets and,
one stoplight. We didn't used to have a stoplight. I remember a day when we didn't have a stoplight.
Yeah,
we have one
cute.
stoplight.
It's like an old, like a little brick downtown,
Yeah, it's got the cobble, streets and bricks. And
my daughter takes her little dog with her to work every day. And she's like, oh my gosh, they blocked off this whole area where they had whatever. And now I don't know what's happening. And then I start reading about, and they're complaining because behind the bank, there's going to be 20 months of construction and disruption for an underground parking garage that will give 9 more parking spaces. Oh, and they're spending $10 million on it.
Well, they're doing something else besides parking
That
underground.
seems odd. But everyone should think for themselves. My I'm not showing. I'm sitting here thinking I'm screen sharing this whole time.
It's
with
all
you guys.
good. Well, you know, we have this imagination. You know, we're able
I
to project this stuff, and we're all good.
I apologize. I thought I was screen sharing with you guys this whole
Maybe
time.
a big vault underneath the ground.
Who knows? It's right by the railway, the train tracks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and there was also an announcement of, maybe I shouldn't be sharing all this.
Well, share the things that are public.
Yeah, this is all public.
All right. Yeah, you're good.
But there's also an announcement of that they were excited to partner with the Kansas. Where does it say? Am I still sharing? I don't know if I'm still sharing.
Nope.
Public to partner with Kansas. Maybe it wasn't on this one. Partnering with Kansas.
Speaking of the Wizard of Oz.
Right. It had something to do with the Kansas City. I don't know if it was the
Hey, when are we going to have a meetup?
Treasury or the thing. I don't know. Now I'm trying to remember. Hey, we're going to have a meetup in, here it is, Kansas City Fed.
There it is. Kansas City
As a
Fed.
member bank of the Kansas City Fed.
Mm.
It's a bittersweet, exciting day. Congrats to Jeff Smith on assuming the role of President CEO of Kansas City. Dynamic, empowering. So I don't know if all these things are related or not. It just
seems I got a
really
question.
Exciting.
That just piqued my interest a little bit. And they're saying, as a member of the Kansas City Fed. So there are banks that are not members of the Kansas City Fed that are in that area.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm just kind of taking the other side of it. You know, they're saying, as like they're proud, as a member of the Kansas City Fed, are there banks that are not members of the Federal Reserve System?
I don't know.
It's just something to think about, you know, because I've been looking more and I know about this stuff, straw man stuff and all that.
These are the things where, like,
I've been looking into all this stuff lately.
Yeah, I think everyone, it's very important at this time in life for everyone to, all the information is out there, and it's very important for everyone to do their own research and to make their own decisions and
trust yourself.
Ask questions, have conversations with people you respect. If you want to know my opinion and respect or have questions for me, you can join my Patreon and send me messages and all that kind of stuff. Like, I don't know. I mean, my own son is telling me that his dad's telling him I'm crazy and whatever. So,
well, you can sign up for a class on Saturdays, and then we can teach you how to be your own bank outside of the Federal Reserve System. Because we can do that now with cryptocurrency. I
don't know that that's going to even, I mean, I do think there's a part of that I think there will be choices. I think there will be a lot of parallel.
I agree with you. I mean, things don't just end overnight. I mean, the UK used to be, you know, the pound sterling used to be the coin of the realm. It used to be the reserve currency. And then we came along, but we still use it. It just loses value and they lost power. But I mean, it still continues on in some form.
Here's this other thing that just happened. Well, it didn't just happen, but it's been just explained to me that has been made very clear. Gosh, this is like 9 minutes long, but we'll go to the end of it.
Oh, the BBC thing?
Yeah.
Oh, this is a big one if you haven't watched it. This is important. I mean, listen to dates, listen to what she's saying.
We won't listen to the whole thing, but should I do just the end of it, do you think?
There's a couple of good spots in there. I don't know what the timestamp is on them. But,
litigated because of this. They've made a huge mistake with this one because even though we thought what was going to happen was they were going to go after him for treason or sedition, but they
Trump.
did criminally charge him, but they didn't go to that extreme. As a result, he has due process, so he can subpoena people and bring things in. Now, let me say something about this 2020 election, is that Biden is the legitimate president, but he's the legitimate president of what is now the bankrupt U.S. corporation.
See, this all needs to be
And that
heard.
was a treaty in 1871. Well, on September 12th, 2018, Trump created an executive order. Within that, he outlined in future elections any kind of foreign or domestic interference, specifically for the 2020 election. So we say, how did he know some of these things were going to happen? Election integrity on both sides of the aisle is tough. It's really tough. But what this has done is it's opened the door for Trump to present his case.
Well, that's a good thing, isn't it? Because what we see on this side of the pond is a very difficult situation where the legal system is politicised in the United States, which is abhorrent to us over here. So the fact that Trump can subpoena, some people saying it's a mistake by Jack Smith, but actually he can subpoena. People can actually see evidence from both sides. That's a sensible move.
Exactly, and it's a great mistake by Jack Smith that he's done that. Absolutely great. See, the thing is, think about Edward Snowden and all the information he had. Think about the fact that our military, our Department of Defense Space Force, if you think that they don't have the actual real results from the election, then you're fooling yourself.
Yeah, but what we do know with this is we're told that there are plenty of notes from people, including Vice President Pence, that there are some recordings of Donald Trump acknowledging that actually what he said in public was nonsense. That some of these states, whether he claimed he was out saying look, Detroit, it's corrupt, it's all corrupt, the results are corrupt. And that when in reality, he knew it wasn't. That's illegal.
But you know what? That's what someone's claiming, but that's not the fact. And that's not what Donald Trump really has ever said. He's been very, very clear. I mean, the issues were, for example, in Pennsylvania, the Supreme Court of the state of Pennsylvania stepped in and changed some of the election laws. Under our Constitution, it's only the state legislators that can do that. 2,000 Mules, the film that came out, what they did, they spent over $4 million tracking the phones. And the reason it's only 2,000 mules is that based on the visits to the drop boxes in Georgia, they had to have gone over 10 times. And they've got all the film for that. So the thing is that the election integrity is so different and so problematic in every single state. But that doesn't mean that the machines didn't do something, that there were some other kind of finagling. But the long and short, go ahead.
Well, it doesn't, but that's where conspiracy comes in, is it? To say, well, it doesn't mean that something didn't happen. Well, there's no evidence that it happened. I mean, there's how many court cases did the Trump campaign try to bring? Nothing's gone in his favor.
Okay, wait a minute. Everyone, the media goes, oh, there were 60 court cases that were rejected. No, there were 3. He won 2, he lost 1, 57 were never heard because they had no standing. And standing means that the person bringing the case has to claim some kind of impact or injury. So it's really, the media did that and they're great at doing that, but it was a fallacy in there. And the thing is that, I sit on a task force at the Department of Defense. And the thing is, they've got the goods. They've got the goods. And Trump knew that if he presented any of the goods early on, we'd have a civil war. That he really felt that the people needed to see how bad it could get.
And that's the sense that we're getting from Trump's lawyer about what his defense is going to be. So this is all going to be based on free speech, the First Amendment in the US Constitution, that he had a right to say what he believed. And he believed that the election results were not as was put out. But the point is, if you live in a democracy and you believe in a democracy, then that means that even if you don't like the outcome of an election, you respect that because it's a democratic vote.
Well, a democratic vote, and so therefore he should be silent about it.
So he has a right to speak, but the issue, of course, is if he then acts to subvert that election result.
Oh, so that because you think he's being criticized because in Georgia he said, "Can you find me 12,000 votes?" Or, you know, the thing is, he didn't try to subvert anything. What he's really done is he set up the deep state to come out, and that's why we're seeing all these things. I mean, it was revealed with whistleblowers and Hunter Biden's ex-best friend that in 2015, the head of Burisma gave Joe and Hunter Biden 10 million bribe. In 2018, Joe is on TV publicly saying that he threatened that unless they got the prosecutor fired, that he wasn't going to let them have their $1 billion in support. In 2019, Trump calls Zelensky to find out about what went on to get the prosecutor fired, and he gets impeached. I mean, we've lived with it for a long time.
We're almost out of time. I just want to pick you up on one thing. You said earlier on, Donald Trump has been very clear on this. Is he a man that you believe? I mean, look, he's about as believable as a chocolate teapot, isn't he?
Look, I know that. Oh, thank God you got the negativity in at the end and not the beginning. I can always count on you for that. Always.
But it's a legitimate point to say that Donald Trump is a man who always speaks the truth. That can't be the case. I mean, it's hardly the case of any leader, to be fair, but I mean, definitely not Donald Trump.
Well, I don't know if I said everything or always, because I do call him the embellisher in chief, because he's a marketer. But in terms of telling us things, optics, you better believe that he's very much a straight shooter in terms of actions that he's going to take or what he thinks needs to be done. You know, they made fun of him because they assumed he broke protocol and walked in front of the Queen. No, if you go back and look at it, you will see he looked at her. She gave a wave with her hand. He proceeded. She took a couple of steps, he stopped, and he waited for her to join. That was an optic to tell us that he then was going to bankrupt the U.S. corporation because it was the Vatican, the Crown, and the U.S. that was part since 1871. And we were giving you our tax dollars. We were paying back. You know, forget this Tea Party and without taxation, without representation. We owed you a lot of money because you helped us in the Civil War. And so that is what Trump has now, he told the Queen, I'm ending this. We're dissolving this corporation. We're going to go back to being a republic and we'll all be separate. The Pope wasn't happy. You should find the picture of him visiting the Pope. It took 650 planes to remove our gold from the Vatican Bank.
I'm not very happy about it, Jan, to be perfectly honest. We could do with your money at the minute.
He says it too. I'm not very happy with it
Jan
either.
Halberhay's really good.
He admits it. That is what happened. Trump ended the agreement. We're done with this. We're not paying you guys anymore. The agreement's over. That's what that walk was about. We're done with it. Yes, Biden can be the president of the bankrupt
corporation, because that's what it is.
And Trump is saying, we're done with this. This game is over.
And it's funny because when you really start looking at it, it's a corporation. It's a corporate structure that you're basically volunteering into every time you sign your name and say you're a U.S. citizen, person, all that stuff and all the paperwork that you sign. And then when you realize, wait a minute, ask yourself this. How many times, probably not so much anymore, you don't see it, they don't report it, but, so an ambassador to the UN comes over and they drive recklessly, they're hitting things, breaking things, they get pulled over, the cop, hey, let me see, who are you? They pull out their passport or their card and it says, oh, they're like, oh, and diplomatic immunity. You've heard that before. And they let them go. It's like, wait a minute. They did all these, they're speeding, they're doing all these, whatever. Maybe not doing damage, but speeding, for instance. And they get pulled over, and it's like, well, I got diplomatic immunity. Oh, there's nothing we can do. Why? Why can't you do something to them? Well, it's because they're not part of the corporation. They're not a U.S. citizen. They're not entrenched and volunteered into that. Because ultimately it comes down to, when you look at case law, you're born free. We all are. It's just that we've accidentally, unknowingly, through deception, volunteered into working for DC, the corporation that's called the United States, but it's a corporation. I mean, it really is when you start looking at it. And then you're like, wait a minute. So all the statutes, all the BS, all the UCC, all this stuff that I'm following, I'm not a part of, because, I'm not a defense contractor. I'm not getting paid directly by DC. I'm not working for DC. I'm not a politician.
But
I'm
the
not.
military existed before
Well,
DC.
exactly. And that's
And
it. And so there's this distinction.
If Trump is the commander in chief still, and he set this stuff up to say we are not, to expose the infiltrated, or how did they say, the other countries infiltrating our foreign countries, infiltrating the voting in 2020, then that'll be exposed. But also it gets us out of all of that. It cleans all of this up.
Yeah. And I mean, you can do that on your own. There's ways to do that. There's people that talk about it, but
it's not going to have to, though,
because
it's going to clean itself.
At the top level, you could have the CEO of the organization, because that's what the president is, the CEO of an organization, say, listen, here's the new rule. This is what we're doing. This is how we're going to do it. And, in creating that rule, it's like, hey, we're going to basically dissolve this.
Right. It just bankrupted itself.
Well, that's it. What do you think's happening right now?
Flushed it down the toilet.
And do you see the U.S. military going to defend the dollar all over the world right now like it used to? You don't see them going into Ukraine. You don't see them going into Taiwan. I mean, there might be.
Everybody needs to go watch the Very Dow YouTube video, because when I start trying to ask Reggie questions about Fed Now, and he starts saying, this sounds familiar. This sounds familiar. And it sounds like his IP. And I'm making assumptions that I do not have any kind of insider knowledge about. Do not assume because I'm on the Dow that I have insider knowledge. Reggie is separate from the Dow. But listen to that interview. I don't know what's happening, but
something's happening.
Something's happening, or something may have already happened. And he's just talking about transactions. And I was like, well, but it has to be backed by, and the U.S. dollar. And he's like, no, separate that in your mind. We have to start thinking about money differently. And maybe we have to stop calling it money. Maybe we have to start talking about.
Well, here's the thing. The definition of money
value
is gold and silver coin. I mean, specifically silver coin. I mean, but that's what it comes down to. We talked about that a little bit last week, to where the only thing states, the individual states of the union, the only thing they, according to the Constitution, can tender their debts in, basically take care of their debts, is in gold or silver coin. Money. That's the money. That's the only form of money that, is defined, basically by our real rules. That's the money, real money. Everything else is basically kind of currency. It's discharging this and that, and, canceling back and forth. But that's real money, the gold and the silver.
I even heard somebody saying that law had to be dissolved because of, some hang up on that law somehow was tied the debt in with something.
It's all a bunch of legalese is really what it comes down to. And everything you thought, everything you thought, and that's why you got to get a Black's Law dictionary and go look up the word when you're signing something. What are they actually asking me for here? But that's what they've done. They perpetrated it, all on us. And we think, man, this is just not right. They're not following the rules. They're doing whatever they want. They're not protecting the borders. They're not doing anything. I mean, it's just like, it's almost like they're destroying, the sovereignty of individuals. It's because they are. I mean, that's what they want. It's just like, hey, come play ball with us and we'll give you a little stimulus check now and then, when things get bad. we'll give you this, we'll give you that, but you lose in the big picture. And it's like, wait a minute, well, what is going on here? And so that kind of sums it up. I mean, if you start looking into it, you look at the Vatican City, what they are, look at the City of London, what that is, look at Washington, D.C., what that is. That's the triumvirate in the West of the corporate power structure. And that's really it. And if that's been dissolved, and you know, through that, whatever happened with him and the Queen, obviously that was a clear power play. That was a clear, you're not important anymore, because he walked right in front of her. It was just kind of a, you know, okay, now you can come up. But I mean, you know, he was in control, no doubt about it. Standing next to the Pope, so uncomfortable, so disturbed, because all this was basically laid out in the first presidency. I mean, he went all over the world, met with these leaders, you know, all this was basically, listen, this is the way it is now.
And that was when like the seals were taken off of the gates at Buckingham Palace. Do you remember that? And laid on the ground, and like there was so much symbolism going
exactly
on.
And that's like she said, the messaging, you know, what was the exact word she used? He in the video there, she said he's not telegraphs it, not symbolizes it, but
he was like, oh gosh, I'm such a hand talk. But he was literally moving his hands, or
basically tells you what's happening,
or
you know,
telegraphing, or
so I'm gonna have a little scotch to celebrate, because, you know, I think he came from Scotland,
think this is huge. And I've never seen so much things about Red Friday as today. I will tell you that I have a friend that works in the financial industry that is not my friend Jill at the bank, but but that said there's a rumor out there that we could be looking at a request to turn our dirty paper linen things in next month. And I don't know if that's going to be part of that. You know, maybe the military gets to try out, you know, Roger first. So Roger that.
Roger.
And then we get to try out Roger, and it's about the transactions, and we get to start doing some of those peer-to-peer transactions. I don't know. I just know some things are happening really fast.
Definitely are. I mean, and it's good to be prepared to educate yourself and look into these things, and kind of get a good, you know, at least a cursory view of the history. And she kind of gave it. You know, 1871 is a good date to look at. You know, what happened.
That was a bold interview. I mean,
it was huge. I mean, you don't drop that stuff. Nobody talks about that stuff in public on the BBC.
And he even said, well, I don't like it either. Like,
and
he
he's just letting,
dispute
he's just
or
kind
say,
of, okay, yeah.
Lady, what are you talking about? He literally said, like, I'm pissed about you guys not paying us back, or stop.
Yeah, we want our money. Give us our cash. You know, give me the pallets full of cash.
What's happening?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's this. It's all an illusion anyway. That's what I say. It's all a vampire casino. It's an overlay on top of what we've been taught. It's this overlying layer that they kind of leave out. And you look at all the things that happened after the Civil War. Something changed. You know, 6 years after the Civil War, you got the 1871 thing. You got all these problems. You got the Federal Reserve, you know, coming in 1913. I mean, you know, you've got just this corporate structure getting overlaid on top of what we think is America. And it's been going on ever since. And, you know, you got to think, okay, you got all this money that you can create out of nothing. That's like the last ditch effort. If we can get this in, we can control the schools, we can control the medical industry, all the colleges, we can control the government, we can control all the, you know, arms of the government, all these things, you know, we can control, because, you know, we're going to deceive people, and, you know, and they're not going to know, because, you know, we're wordsmithing everything. And that's what's happened. And so now we're at a point of great awakening, the age of Aquarius. The knowledge is getting poured out. That's where we're at. And that's why we chose to come back at this time. Because, okay, let's get it done. Let's make it happen. Let's awaken people.
Now, right?
Absolutely. All the tools are here. All the information is here. There's nothing hiding. You don't have to go to a library and study it and look through dusty books. And hopefully they have one, dusty books. It's like a stage name. So you've got, right? And
But
so it's all
go
there
ahead.
now. We've got it. We can have this conversation, and we've got platforms to do it. We've got infinite knowledge, on the earth that we have access to. And this is the time to wake up, or it's the time to go to sleep, and maybe come back another time. Get out of the way.
It's really exciting to me because we were having this talk about, oh gosh, I don't know, all these things, and how, the Project Mockingbird, and how even the law that Obama put out, allowing
Where's Barack? What happened?
The weaponization. Well, his chef drowned tragically, and so he's mourning. So everyone just needs to give him some time. But he passed a law to allow the weaponization of social media, and similar to the Operation Mockingbird.
Yeah, basically we can lie. We can create all the fiction we want and use it
not
against
only
the people.
we can lie, but they should lie and weaponize.
Because we have to protect the corporation.
Social media and all of that against the United States people to push down a narrative to dumb them down or to control them, to protect the corporation. And so that itself is being through the Twitter files and all that being like exposed. And so I'm like,
listen to me. You just said the Twitter files. It's now the X files.
I don't like this thing. I'm unimpressed.
I know, it's frustrating. But you think about X. Why is it X? What's the big thing with X? X files. Twitter X.
I like Z better.
X marks the spot.
I'm all about the Z.
Find the treasure in the golden grain.
Yeah.
You got the Big Sweeter shirt on. I don't know. I'm riffing.
Yeah, I had to throw a Big Sweeter shirt on. I have it's the, what does it says? Get your fix with Bix.
Get your fix with Bix. I've got that same image. Lovely shirt you got there. I love that shirt, especially on you. So we've got the HODL fuel. It's got that picture there. I've got an unopened bag that Bix sent me of the HODL fuel with that image on it. Sitting up here in the bar. Yeah. Good stuff. No, I mean, a lot of truth tellers out there that have been suffering the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, of outrageous government, corporate government, for a long time. And slowly, then all of a sudden, that's how things happen. I think that was a Hemingway thing.
I'm so excited. Like we were sitting at lunch.
How'd you go bankrupt? Slowly, then all of a sudden, then suddenly, I think it was.
Yeah, we were sitting at lunch today, and I was like, talking to my daughter, and Cannon was there, my youngest, and Charlie's there, and I'm like telling her what's going on. And then like literally as I'm doing that, then the next thing comes out, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I was just trying to like share with her the last thing. And then there's an update, and I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, I can't wait for happy hour and tell everybody. And then I'm like, everybody, but it's one thing for me to like share this with people and be excited about it, but everybody has to go look at it themselves, and they have to say like, because we keep hearing something's going to happen a certain day, and things do happen, and it is happening.
Yes.
But then we're also seeing like,
Where's
there was
Hunter?
a cyber attack.
Where's Hunter?
On the hospitals. Yeah. And Hunter's still, and I saw a filing to put SBF in jail. So I guess that case is not over. It's just that they released hand talker.
Party foul.
They released him until whenever the hearing's going to happen or whatever, which it was not my understanding. But then I saw somebody file something that says, no, he should actually be in jail because of not all these risks. So
they let him out to begin with. I mean, with bail or whatever it was, and he walked away. And so I think they just dropped the charge of the whole interference thing, with Congress or donating to a campaign finance thing. I think they just dropped that one. I don't know.
There could be other charges.
There's other stuff. And the thing is, he's a front guy. He's just, the guy on the sideshow of the circus. Everybody comes and watches, and it takes their money. It's like, oh, look at the guy with the hair on fire. But it really, who's running the show? Who's operating the carnival? Who's operating the circus? And the circus you know, we got head clowns, you know, running around. And the thing is, do you think this Burisma stuff, do you think all this stuff with Ukraine happened under Obama's watch and he didn't know? Biden, in his speech where he said, well, son of a bitch, you know, they got rid of him. You know, he said before that, call the president. You're not going to get your $1 billion. And it's like, oh, so now he's implicated. You know, and people just brush that fact away that, okay, you know, here's Biden saying, hey, call the president. See if you get your money. You think he didn't know? Give me a break. This guy, you know, maybe he's the big guy. Who knows?
He may be the big guy.
Just saying.
Who's bringing
this guy's a community organizer out of Chicago.
Pizza to Obama and Big Mike. You never know.
Yeah. Community organizer out of Chicago. I remember.
Community organizer.
Run it right. Basically rigging votes. And
no,
you know, that's vote rigger. You know, collecting ballot harvesting. So he ends up becoming this, you know, nobody knows him when he went to, what was it, Columbia or whatever school it was. You know, I think Miss Dean Crypto was just there, you know, without a degree, you know, teaching people trying to get degrees. How ironic. So you've got this guy coming out of, I don't know, whatever college, Ivy League school. Nobody knows him. Nobody can document that he was there. Have no idea. He was supposedly head of the, you know, the magazine or the paper that was there. He shows up in Illinois. And, you know, here he is running for Senate. Now when Keyes comes in, runs against him, and, oh, Obama wins. I remember the signs. I can picture one right now going down Peoria. Obama. I'm like, who's Obama? You know, running for Senate here in Illinois. I never heard of the guy. And then all of a sudden, you know, he gets elected as senator. Oh, he's a smooth talker. You know, and next thing you know, he's at the Democratic National Convention, giving a great speech, sounding great. Boom, roll him into the White House. It's all good. Running against some idiot, you know, on the Republican side, you know, somebody willing to take the fall. And next thing you know, here he is, president. Holy cow, crazy. Where did he come from? What's his background? It's not even his real name. Do we even know who this guy is?
That's what they want, though. They want an invisible person that came out of nowhere. We were at an event.
They created him
years ago.
Since birth.
There was a kid that was from a
like
wealthy but sweet, you know, pretty much, you know, vanilla white bread family. And
Hawaii,
like, didn't really think for himself. Smart, sweet kid, you know, but like very easily influenced, whatever. And this lobbyist guy was just like locked on him. All he knew was that his parents had a lot of rich friends, and the kid would do whatever everybody said, and was very likable. And they were glommed onto him and were like, hey, have you ever thought about politics? I'm like, that kid does not have an opinion.
Doesn't matter.
That's his own.
You got the look.
And that's what they wanted.
Follow orders.
They wanted somebody.
Want to get rich?
You have connections, and you will do what you are told. And we don't want you to have an opinion of your own. Like, it was a whole thing.
No, we want to recruit you for the team. You know, so that we can make you CEO of the corporation. You know, and then you'll get a nice big house on Martha's Vineyard, and, you know, have your own chef. And
I went up to him and I was like, oh, so you're lobbyists for this is this? Well, what are your thoughts on constitutional money and blah, blah, blah? And they were like, they do not want to talk to me.
You mean all that money they pay me in suitcases that show up? That's constitutional money, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's all a big scam. I mean, it really is. And once you understand that, and most people in here do, that's why I just say trust yourself, because you're beyond this. You're above this. I mean, you were born above this. I mean, you're a child of God. I mean, you have God-given rights. And I mean, all they want you to do is say, hey, come over here, sign this, and play in our casino. Yeah, it'll be fun. And that's what they get us to do. And next thing you know, you're like, why is everything so effed up? What are these rules? What is all this BS? I mean, this is not what I thought, you know, the Constitution was about. No, because it isn't. Because they make rules and you voluntarily complied to follow them, man, you know. And so here you are. So we got to unwind that.
Yeah. Let's just remember, Biden can be the president of the bankrupt corporation all day long. But we are not. They can make rules for that typewriter system. We are moving on to
I don't have a
free
typewriter,
markets.
so
I don't have a typewriter. Yeah, I'm
there you
not
are.
part of a club. So, oh man, you guys join us on Westwood Spaces tonight.
I don't know. Am I doing Spaces? I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm a reluctant Spaces host all the time because I know it's a dream. If I get overwhelming consensus that everybody in here is going to give me like 1 for Spaces tonight and 2 for no Spaces tonight in the chat.
Okay.
Give me a 1. I've got a half a Litecoin I should give away. I don't even know how to do it, but no, I won
it because he just gave me 0.75 Litecoin for a bunch of stupid video game stuff.
Cannon, go get me a drink.
Yeah,
Give some Litecoin.
Dude, you've lost your mind. I was like,
my daughter's the same way. I mean, they play in these virtual.
Oh games. God, I have to warn parents. A warning. Chat GPT has a thing. Okay, I have to say this right. Carly was telling me this. So Carly coaches younger kids in jiu-jitsu, and she was talking with some of the parents, and in TikTok, somehow there's some connection where they get kids to click on something and they trick them to go to these porn sites in Chat GPT or something like that. I can't remember what it's called now. There's also a thing in Roblox where they trick them to go to mini games inside of Roblox.
Yeah, different servers and stuff, and get you to go on.
And they, for like some kind of child porn thing or something, or talking. Yep. You guys,
it's out there. You got to monitor what your kids are doing. It's like, where are you at? What are you doing? What's going on here? What are you engaged in?
The headphones need to come off.
Yep. There's chats in there. They can talk to people.
Chats in there.
If you're somebody looking for kids, that's where you're going to go.
To talk to your children. Do not let your children.
I'm 8 years old. Hey, what do you like to do?
They're pretending to jump on each other.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Even in like something that seems like an innocent game, but it ends up being like a dirty old man.
Grooming.
And Cannon was saying like, I think that was in Roblox or Minecraft. I don't know. Just please be careful. And that's
watch what they're doing.
Then he had a kid that he's friends with that's a nice kid that he actually knows in real life, physical form, that was trying to get him to download Discord because his friends got him to download Discord.
Well, you got direct communication.
Group chats so they could all do chats on Discord while they were gaming. I was like, oh, hell no.
So now it's not monitored. It's not tied to the game to where you
not
can
on the
report
game,
somebody
so mom and dad won't
get them
know.
kicked off.
It's
and
through
now you're
the
on
other app.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And so you're bypassing, circumventing, certain rules and guidelines that are in place. And you're on a secondary app. You can't tie it back to that one. So it's spawning off everywhere, and that's what they do. I mean, that's the whole goal, though. It's to control the youth and get the youth to think their way. This is the spiritual battle we're in. I mean, that's really what it is. All these things where you see people wanting to engage the kids, all these, things. You know what I'm talking about.
Well, and adults don't play with 12-year-olds. Grow up and go play with adults. Shame on you. Shame on all of you for wanting to play with 12-year-olds. Grow the fuck up. I mean, I'm sorry, but that is just offensive to me. People say, that's just how gamers play. Yeah. That's just what gamers do. Adults don't play with children for entertainment. Go play an adult game. Go be with adults.
Yeah,
that's offensive. That's
go wrestle in the front yard.
Completely offensive to me.
No, it is.
It's not an excuse.
But that's what you see. You see they try to get you involved in things. I mean, anybody that's coming after kids or targeting kids in any way, engaging with kids when they're adults, give me a break. Then you watch all these videos to where people get busted for meeting people at, different restaurants and public places. And oh, well, I wasn't going to do anything, but well, your text
You
message
shouldn't
said
even be
this.
talking to them.
So
You have no
what are
right
you there
talking to
for
someone
then?
else's child.
And they
No,
admit it though.
no
See,
reason.
they're brain damaged. I mean, there's so many people out there. They'll say,
You're sick.
well, if they say it's okay, then well, that's what they wanted to
No.
do. So, and it's all manipulation, like everything in this world. It's all manipulation. You got to break through that, and you can't allow.
They are a child,
children
so they don't have the
the
legal
mental capacity.
permission to give you permission to even speak to them. You may only speak to them if you get permission from their parents. So you don't even have permission to talk to them, approach them, speak to them, look at them, nothing. They don't have the capacity to give you that permission.
Agree.
Period. The end. Done. End
Drop
of
the bottle.
conversation.
Done. No,
Yeah, I just have no tolerance for any of that.
no, and you shouldn't, because they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. And anyone making any kind of excuses or sliding scale to make excuses for it, I have no tolerance for.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely not. So,
Right on.
but I love all of you.
Yeah, we love everybody in the
Sorry,
chat.
I
We have
just
30
can't
people in the
take it.
chat. 30 people in the
Yes.
chat. Awesome.
Love you all.
Now, Daddy O, you nailed it. Don't put that up there, but Daddy O's comment. Yep.
No. Yes.
That's what they are.
Mm-hmm.
That is what they are. So understand, they're coming at you from all angles, and you just know what you're about. Teach your children, monitor your children, see what they're doing, because when you're a kid, think about it. Things you did as a kid. Oh, I can fly. Let me get the umbrella and go on the roof.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not a good idea. There's certain things that you do when you're a kid, the imagination, and you don't realize what you're getting into, and that's what we're here for as parents, to protect. And that's why it's been an agenda to destroy families. And, that's what they want to do.
And kids do have a sense of adventure.
Sure they do. It's like they've got a world of imagination.
Bless her heart. So my grandmother got me this little Hummel when I was a little girl. Of course, it was stolen when we moved to Texas with everything else. But I had a little Hummel that was like a music thing. You wound it up, and it was the I Can Do It My Way. It was that song, or I Did It My Way.
Sinatra, baby.
Sinatra. Yeah, I did it my way. And it was this little, I think it was like a little girl with an umbrella or something. Oh, of course it had an umbrella. Lord, the umbrellas haunt me. They're everywhere in my life right now. But
Trump had an umbrella yesterday.
He did have an umbrella the other day. He was standing there. Just standing there.
Anyway.
And letting them stick their microphone out.
Back to the Hummel.
Back to the Hummel. I did it my way. And my poor mother, she was like, oh, you're the most difficult child. She's like, because you were like, I know you have an opinion about parenting me, but I really don't need you around, And because I had this sense of adventure, and I had, even in middle school, like we were going to all go, we decided we were going to go camping, but we were like in, a suburb of Houston. And so we were like all going to go camping on the San Jacinto River, where the homeless population, and when I say homeless, I mean drug addicts, hang out. Like, not the smartest thing to do.
But you don't know any better. You're like
kids in middle school, and we just thought we were going to, we were going to all, I told my friend Barbara, I told my mom I was at Barbara's, and Barbara said she was at Holly's, and Holly said she was at Kristen's, and Kristen said she was at Katie's, and Katie said she was at Barbara's, and Barbara said she was at my house. And then, it was fine. And back then, nobody had cell phones and all the things. And
right, you got landline phones, and maybe you'll get a hold of somebody if you take the time to do it.
And then, of course, my mom is a smart one, and she knows me better. And so she starts going, And so she starts the call. And then somebody saw one of us with one of the boys had a four-wheeler, and we ended up at the 7-Eleven getting something. We probably some hot dogs, or I don't know, Pringles or something, I don't know, on some boy's four-wheeler, and then back to the woods and the San Jacinto River. And so I will never forget, because it was like right around my birthday weekend. And so they were all singing happy birthday to me in the back of the sheriff's, I think we were in like a Dodge Ram Charger, like one of the things. And the kids were like, happy birthday to you, Lisa. Because I was grounded for the rest of the year.
It's done. This is it. This is your birthday.
You know, but those
Yeah,
are the things the kids do because they're stupid and they don't know there's drug addicts that will like rape you and stick you in a metal container and send you to Thailand and drug you and sell you for
another
you know
missing
what-
child. It just disappeared.
Yeah.
Statistic. That's
So
what happens.
that's what
That's
happened.
why we need to be parents. We need to look out for our children and watch out for them, because that's what happens. Because there are bad people out there. There are vampires all over the place. Now, we outnumber them many times over. However, as long as they can get away with it and nobody stops them, they won't stop. And that's
Well,
the
and
thing.
now we
They
have
won't
to
stop.
pay attention to and not say, oh, it's not your business. You know, we have to be our brother's brother. We have to be neighbors to each other. We have to care about each other and stop saying, oh, well, I pay taxes. I don't have to care about my neighbor. I don't have to, you know, I can step over the homeless person, or I can, you know, we have to care about our community, about each other, and do the things. So
You just got to care about life and humans.
Yeah.
That's it. What it comes down to, Daddy-O. Benny, great interview earlier this week with Benny
yes,
Warrior.
thank you. Thanks. He's such a great guy.
He retweeted or reposted now, you know, on the X platform. He reposted something today, and he says, that wouldn't happen. This is how it would go in my neighborhood. And it was a guy in a subway, you know, harassing a female. And then finally, when he makes the move to go up and grab her, all the dudes stand up and grab him and pull him off. And it's like,
awesome.
That's what should happen. That's what should be happening. I mean, you know, we have to, because, you know, when seconds count, the police are minutes away. You know, we have to make sure that these things don't happen. When someone is being assaulted, violated, you know what? No, that's not right. We don't want to live in that kind of world, because that could be my wife, that could be my daughter. No, that's not how we tolerate. We don't live that way. That's not our culture. And, you know, we can't deviate from that. And that's a good, positive thing, that you just don't do that. And, you know, as long as people, and see, that's the thing, people have always been this way. There's always been deviants. There's always been vampires. And the thing is, society, I should say people, community, at different points in history have always said, no, we're not doing that. And, you know, so they got to cower in the darkness like a vampire. It's like, you know, maybe sneak around and try and, you know, do something, you know, unseen. But, you know, once they're seen, they need to be held accountable for their actions. And when they do something wrong, it's up to the community to say, no, we're not doing this. This is not how things work. It's not how we want to live our lives. It's our life to live. It's our community, you know, make it ours. You know, don't depend on somebody in a uniform to show up when they're just following orders, you know, and they don't even know, you know, they're just, it's like, no, they're not going to get there in time anyway.
Right.
Fix the problem.
Accountability, transparency, all of that solves the problem, I think. So, all right. I am out. I hear all the banging around going on out there, and I'm going to go be a part of my family. And I love you guys. I love that you're my magical internet friends and part of my family too. And I can't wait for the next meetup. I'm going to be at the Silver Symposium in Vegas. I'm hoping that you guys will help me get there. And buy a ticket.
Join her Patreon.
Link in the description. You can join my Patreon, send me messages, and that supports me as well. I would be greatly, greatly appreciative of that. And you can also book a class with Westwood and I and have us for 2 hours on Saturday at litecoinlisa.net.
What do you want to talk about? You want to load up? Yeah, it absolutely is. You know, you just ask anything you want. AMA session, you know, what do you want to learn about? You know, hey, this wallet, your crypto, whatever it is. You need a reading? Pull out the tarot deck. You know, what do you want to do? You've got our time, and whatever you want to do, whatever questions you have, whatever you want to learn.
We are there for you. So, yes, love and light to all. God protects us all. Yeah, I would love to see you guys in Vegas. I'm super excited about that. And I just would really ask that everybody like be sending some love and light to Sean. He's still healing in the hospital and working on his rehab and therapy. And also just this weekend, let's all be very peaceful and loving to each other. And I know I got a little heated because when it comes to kids, the mama bear in me comes out. So
That's normal. That's
I apologize
natural
if I
instinct.
offended any, but I
Nope.
just really want to send a lot of love, and let's all think about like how as a community it's time to come together and don't eat at McDonald's and be healthy, everyone.
Start a little mini garden, heirloom
Yes.
seeds, save the seeds, start the garden again next year. Let's be
That's
as self-sustaining as we can possibly be, because they don't want us. They want us dependent, and then they pull the rug out. That's what they do. Oh, just-in-time delivery system. That's awesome. You'll get everything you want. And then all of a sudden, not anymore. So they've got you in a matrix that you want to get out of. And so find ways to do that. Find things of value that are going to sustain
Find
you,
things of value
sustain
in
your
your
family,
home that
your
you
community.
might want in their home. Find things that you can reuse. Find things that we can trade with each other. Like, let's all find value in it, in ourselves and each other. Transition with each other. So, all my love to all of you. I'm grateful for all of you. We'll see you guys next time.
Trust yourselves.
Trust yourselves. There's
Always.
a new live or new items going live on my eBay store tomorrow, or is it tonight? I believe it's tomorrow at 4:00, and then the video for that will go live tomorrow at 4:00 that Cannon and I shot earlier this week for Patreon. So if you're Patreon, you've already seen it and you got the first dibs. So some of those items may not be available yet if you're watching it later, but you'll see that on eBay. So check that out. Thanks, guys. Good night. See you on Spaces, or hear you on Spaces.